Hey, this is Simeon from Monument City, fan of Everton. Welcome to the DU Football Show, and Graham's going to have no kind of college fun left after this.
Actually, quite the opposite. I can't gamble it away, and I'm making more money than I did in December at the moment.
Yeah, I know. Lucky boy happens to service liquor stores right now.
That's right.
Let's face it, it's a little busy for you. Oh, my
Just
God.
a touch.
All right, so tonight's going to be nothing but complete speculation. So with that being said, let's start the show. I was early and I suck. Hello and welcome to the Drunken United Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. At least I hit the post on my fuck-up. I'm Sam Houston, and across the way from me is the Cheshire cat grinning Samuel Graham.
Yeah. Welcome to the tin cap episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Our tin foil hats we're going to put on and just figure out what the fuck's going to happen.
Yeah, pretty much just going to guess the entire time. That's all we're going to do is
for the
guess.
most part.
Oh, how you doing, buddy?
Not bad. Just a little nervous about this old 8 o'clock shelter-in-place order here.
I know, the purge horde's going to go off,
I know.
and we're going to have to get you off the streets. So
I did get lucky, though. My company sent me a travel notice to show any officers that may want to inquire about what I'm doing.
Yep. Not that I ever plan on using it, but I had received one of those as well from my company.
Yeah.
That says we're essential business, we are open, and we are servicing accounts.
I'm going to write myself one.
So
It says I'm allowed to go see my niece, which
I
I'm
do
not.
what I
I'm
want.
just kidding.
Yeah. Whatever. I
it
do
just
what I
says,
want.
I do what I want.
Yeah.
Love Mel.
Yeah.
Do you know who I am? ... Producer Mel.
Yeah, no, I will probably see my top 10, 12 through every week, and that'll be it. Everybody else is getting phone calls out of my 40 stores.
Heard. So we're recording at Studio H, just outside our nation's capital. That's soon going to change as Sammy's going to have to start Skyping in because of this shutter-in-place thing that just got put down on us today.
Yep.
And you can check
Or
us out-
shelter-in-place.
Shelter-in-place. You can check us out on all podcast platforms. Please be sure to rate, subscribe, review, and share with a friend. And by the way, we're not stopping fucking doing this. We're going to keep doing shows.
We
we're
actually added more content
if yeah, exactly, with the new
with
Zoom
the new
call.
patio time. Yeah.
And frankly, it's it's sanity relieving for us as well. So
100%.
Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can, and trust me, we're going to need you to talk to us. We need human interaction. Sammy, why don't you tell the good people how they can get in touch with us?
Sure. We are at DU Football Show on all the social medias. It's Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And then DUfootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Excellent. Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirits industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every show. Sam, since it's going to be our last time together here for a little bit, I figured let's do one more off the old top 20 list. What we got?
That's it. So we have the Bruichladdich Bere Barley. That is spelled, just so you know, Bruichladdich.
Yeah.
Pronounced Bruichladdich. So if you're looking for it out in the store, that's how you would find it. It is the Bere Barley Black Tube. Bere Barley is written in white. Bruichladdich is written in gold. It's the 2010 vintage, so it's an 8-year-old. It's actually bottled in 2019. Mm-hmm. This one came in at number 15 on Whiskey Advocate's Top 20 this year. It is an 8-year-old. As I said, running you between $95.99 and $110.99 on the shelf. Comes in at 100 proof. On the nose, you've got a little bit of salted almond and tropical fruit. Creamy mouthfeel with chocolate, pepper, citrus oil, pine sap, and chamomile on the palate. And a full round finish, even though I wrote rond.
Oh, nicely done. All right.
Yes, dear.
Yes.
I have some breaking news.
Okay, breaking news
I mean,
whenever
it's
it
not
feels
going to
like
be
breaking.
breaking tomorrow. You were just saying about Hogan giving us a stay-at-home order. Ralph Northman, the governor of Virginia,
Wow.
just ordered a stay-at-home order until June 10th.
Wow.
Ours is indefinite.
Well, indefinite means like it could end also anytime.
Right.
That would freak me out, like that June 10th. Why
Yeah.
not just say,
Indefinitely.
April 30th, or just not give an end date?
Well,
Like
it's a pretty
that's
easy answer.
terrifying.
Oh yeah.
It's a pretty easy answer right now. We will reassess in 2 weeks. That's what
It
they
just
said
keep-
2
it
weeks
just-
ago.
That's fine.
That's what you say this week. We will reassess in 2 weeks.
I would rather have that because you always have hope.
Right. What now what's going to happen? We are going to continue this, and we are going to reassess in those weeks.
Yep.
That's how it's going to work.
Yeah. The thing about hope, though, there's nothing more powerful or dangerous in human emotion than hope.
I'm a Villa fan, so I'm aware.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, after you wash your hands, fucking drink responsibly.
Exactly. But I was going to say a little bit more about the whiskey.
Go ahead.
Sorry, my bad.
For being in an Isla, most Isla have that overly peaty, very campfire thing. This has it, but it's not like being hit upside the head with a campfire log. It's actually a really, really lovely whiskey.
I don't get a lot of that iodine, that we talk about sometimes with like
Band-Aid.
Lefroy and some of the other
Yeah,
ones.
the big Band-Aid. But the other thing that's interesting, too, with Bruichladdich, too, is their most popular one is a teal canister in a teal bottle, and it's actually an unpeated barley from Isla.
From Isla, yeah, which is
Isla
strange,
is just
obviously.
known for being
Uber peaty.
Right. They kind of got mocked for it, right? Like by the whiskey makers and the press. So then they came out with something called Octomore, which is like 150 phenols per measure. Like just
Right.
like Lefroy is like 60. And they're just like, no, fuck you. We're going to triple it. Fuck
Right,
you for
yeah.
fuck you for talking about us making a non-peated whiskey. Fine. You want to see a peated whiskey? We'll give you a peated whiskey.
Right.
We are going to give you all the peated whiskey. And it happens to be in a long cylindrical black tube. I don't know what they're reading into it, but I have a feeling what they're kind of saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is lovely. This is kind of like they do a bunch of fun, weird things like this one where it's kind of like single estate, kind of single farm things, using grain from one individual farm. Not something you typically see in the world of Scotch because Scotch is always so big business. One factory kind of, peats all the barley and sends it off to all of the
Right. Yeah.
distilleries throughout the country. So very interesting to see. I'm going to try not to fuck up the rest of the show like I murdered my complete intro today. So, Sammy, for you, I'm going to try to do better. Let's have a good show.
Yes, sir. Let's do it. Mel, you too. Push the buttons well.
Yum.
All right. Today, we are going to live in the world of complete speculation. We are talking the bottom six and the relegation battle, and that is it. Typically, if you have 39 points, you are deemed quote-unquote safe. There are 3 teams that are in the bottom half of the table that are not to 39 points yet, but we are going to assume they are going to get there. That would be Everton, Newcastle, and Southampton. Southampton's at 34, and I think Everton's at 37. Newcastle's somewhere in the middle. But let's assume they're going to get to their points. Now, that's not to say they couldn't have a complete nosedive and be in trouble, but pretty safe assumption they won't. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at teams 15 through 20, and I actually have all of their games listed here, Sam, and we're going to do them team by team, and we're going to say they're going to win this one, they're going to lose this one, and we're going to go under the assumption that they'll be away, they'll be home, and also, of course, Sam, keep in mind that some of these games, if you're playing Burnley at home with 4 games left of the season and Burnley's already safe, how much will Burnley care about an away match?
Right, absolutely.
How much will Spurs care about an away match? How much will Arsenal care about an away match? I mean, because that all depends on what it means for them for Champions League. But for the most part, this is where you start to see at the end of the season some head-scratching results where you go, how the fuck did Norwich beat, Everton again?
Right.
You're
Let
like,
me- Can I, real quick, before we
Please.
start this,
Uh-huh.
I did hear something funny.
Okay, go ahead.
With the season being null and void, potentially,
Okay.
which apparently is starting to get some legs,
Oh, that'll make me get
where they just void the season, right? There are 6 people, especially, top half clubs, for some reason, not Sheffield United. They weren't named or implicated in it. But apparently, there are
I heard this story, but go
6 clubs that are constantly in communication with UEFA saying, hey, you're going to uphold City's Champions League ban, right?
Right.
That's
City,
they're
City's
still
out,
going to be
right?
they're still going to be
City's
banned,
out.
right? They're still going to be banned because leading the charge is yours truly, Arsenal Football Club, and the reason
Why would that be?
Well, City said that we think we know who it is, and it's fucking Arsenal. The reason being is Arsenal finished in 5th last season, lest we forget. And they would occupy that Champions League spot.
If the season was null and void,
this season
suddenly
was void.
you'd be in the Champions League.
We would be in the Champions
If
League
you
again.
can't do it honestly, do it through the back door, right? Sneak
fucking
your way in.
Do whatever it takes, my friend. Whatever the fuck it takes.
You keep
So-
Aubameyang that way.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. We have the potential to keep Aubameyang, and we would have money to spend because of the Champions League TV money from next season.
All right. So remember, some of these are gonna be teams are gonna be playing each other. So like if I say like Brighton playing West Ham, let's say that. Remember to look to West Ham and write in what your result is.
Oh, you
there,
mean I
too.
can't change it later on? And
No,
then...
you can't change it later on. So let's go ahead and start with Brighton sitting at 15th place with 29 points.
Yep.
Big thing to remember about Brighton, at this point, Brighton still has not won a game in this calendar year.
Are we doing like scores?
No, just win or loss.
Okay, the other thing I took down, just in case, I took down their current goal differential
Okay, perfect.
because that may come into play later.
Okay.
So since I looked it up, Brighton is sitting at a -8, by far the best goal differential out of these 5 teams we'll discuss.
Right. All right, so Brighton versus Arsenal.
6 teams we'll discuss.
Okay,
Sorry.
yeah, got it. Brighton versus Arsenal, I've already got Brighton losing that match, even
Yes.
though it's at home.
Yep.
At Leicester, I have them losing that match.
Me too.
Man United at home. I don't want to give them a win, but I feel like they're going to find points. You know what? I'm still going to say a loss.
Just given the way that it's changed, given the way that things have changed with the arrival of Bruno Fernandes, I'm going to have to say that that's a loss as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, I'm with you. You're going to have to say a loss.
Yeah.
At Norwich.
Now, that being said, I don't think any of these are going to be hefty losses.
No,
because
they'll all
the way,
be close.
Yeah.
At Norwich, I'm going to go with a draw. Again, they haven't won. Why would they win on the road?
Still having difficulty scoring
If
goals.
this was
Yep.
Norwich at home, I'd write down W.
I'd
But
agree
because
with-
it's Norwich on the road, I write down draw.
Yeah, I'm going to tend to agree with you here.
Liverpool at home, loss.
Yep.
Man City at home, loss.
Yep.
Southampton at Southampton. Again, I'd like to give them a win because at this point, it's the third to last game. Southampton will not give a shit. They won't give a shit. But it's well, you know what? But also, Southampton has been the worst home team this entire season.
That's true. I'm going to give them a draw, personally.
I'm going to give them a W. Because they're going to turn around and then fuck up against Newcastle at home and have a draw.
See, I have them winning that game.
Okay.
So we still have them on the same points at the moment.
And for the final game of the season at Burnley, here's what matters. If they are, let's assume all 6 of these teams, their last game of the season, they're playing to stay up. So if they are playing to stay up, Burnley is already secure. I am going to go win at Burnley for the final game of the season because they desperately need it.
I have them win against Burnley as well, which means that's 8 points. That would put them on 37 by my count.
37,
finish out.
which is worrisome because 39 is the magic number for the most part. That's not to say that it's the be-all, end-all, but that's typically the magic number. West Ham at home to Wolves. I have Wolves winning that game.
Wolves beating West Ham.
Mm-hmm.
I would tend to agree, especially after the rest that they've had. So a loss for West Ham.
At Spurs, I'm going to go draw. Why do I say draw? Because West Ham really hates Tottenham. They really have a
After
huge
the
hatred.
stadium debacle,
Yeah,
yeah.
they have a huge hatred for him. And Tottenham, let's not forget, was having a fucking hard go of it. Everybody's hurt.
Yep.
Their 2 best goal scorers are hurt. They can't seem to do anything right. Like, I'm going to go ahead and put draw on that one.
Well, the other thing, though, excuse me, they were supposed to be back by, with 2 weeks left in the season, maybe.
Right.
So now if this shit doesn't kick off till June,
They could be healthy.
they could be healthy.
They could be healthy.
In which case, I think they fuck right off, and we're gonna go under the guise that the shit is what it is currently.
Yeah.
Draw for me.
Yeah. Chelsea at home.
I think Chelsea has, for the most part, figured out what to do, especially seeing them in the flesh and the way they were. And I'm not trying to rub it in. I'm trying to be serious against you guys. Even though it's at West Ham, I think West Ham are shite at home.
I agree on all of that except for the following. West Ham likes to give us head scratchers
That's
where we
true.
go, huh? And for a game they should absolutely, positively lose, I am giving them a draw.
I'm going to pencil that in as a loss for me.
At Newcastle, a game they absolutely, positively need to win, they are going to draw.
Yeah, I would say a draw here as well. Because, again, Newcastle aren't going to really care. You know what I mean?
Then, Burnley at home. In traditional West Ham fashion, they fuck off and lose.
Yes. Correct. I'm with that.
Because there's no good reason why Burnley should beat them, none whatsoever, and Burnley will Burnley them at West Ham.
At West Ham.
That's
Yeah.
exactly what they'll do.
To bugger,
Just
to bugger up their season.
Just to make all of our West Ham fans lose their fucking minds. Like, I mean, boys, tweet us, tell us if we're wrong, but doesn't that seem like exactly the game you would fuck off for?
Yeah, 100%.
At Norwich,
Win.
yeah, I give them a win also because at this point you're only 4 games left in the season. I think Norwich already their destiny has been sealed by that point.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
really don't fucking care. Watford at home. I think this is where they know they can, at this point, they get 3 points and they know they're safe. They get those 3 points. I'm giving them a win for Watford at home.
West Ham, you're giving the win.
Yeah, West Ham gets the win.
I would tend to agree with you at home. Because Watford's been garbage on the road.
At Manchester United, the way Man U's playing and Man U at that point is going to be really battling for a Champions League spot. I'm putting a loss.
I have a loss there as well against Man United at Old Trafford. Just again, Bruno Fernandes has made a massive difference to that team. And I think he gets them over the line in this one as well.
And in the final game of the season for them, in a game that won't matter for them because they will already be safe, but in a game that will mean something for Villa, Villa gets a draw.
I have Villa winning final day of the season because they'll need it to stay up.
You think they'll need it to stay up? I think they'll be close at that point, but I'm
Yeah.
going to say draw.
So
All right, so
I
count like points.
I have them with 2. I have them getting 8 points also and being on 35.
I have them
the-
getting 10 points
Oof.
and being on 37.
The other problem I see here, though, is that game against Villa, for instance. Villa, I think, will give more of a shit than West Ham will. And West Ham, when things are on the line, West Ham are known for choking, for fucking up.
Uh-huh.
That's the other reason I think Villa could get over the line there.
Got it. All right, so let's move on to Watford. We have Watford at home to Leicester. Now, this is going to be Leicester. Their form was really shit other than beating the crap out of Villa. Jamie Vardy just came back. I think it's still Leicester. Leicester wins that
I
match.
still think Leicester wins that one as well.
Even though it's the Nigel Pearson, I want to get my old team at home
Right.
kind of thing. One of those hard fought, oh fuck, we lost 2-1 late kind of games.
I could see
because
that.
let's also face it, Watford this entire season has made it their job to lose leads. At Burnley, I give them a loss. Burnley wins. Burnley
Really?
pulls a Burnley.
See, I've got Watford winning that one.
I
Again, just simply because I don't think Burnley's going to really give a shit.
At that point, though, Burnley still has a shot at Europe. So I think Burnley kind of cares still at that point.
All right.
If this was in 2 more weeks, I would give you that.
Okay.
Watford at home to Southampton. God, I'm going to say draw simply because Southampton still has to give a shit at that point. They still got to pay attention. And it's a battle of two teams that, ugh.
Yeah, it's not going to be a fun one to watch.
No.
I could agree with a draw, though, for me.
Watford at Chelsea, big fat loss.
Yep.
Norwich at home, I'm giving them the W.
Yeah, I got to win for them there
because
as
that
well.
is a they need to win game.
Yeah, I got to win for them there as well.
Here's the interesting one is Newcastle at home.
I actually have a win in this one.
Okay, gonna give them a win. I'm gonna go draw because I think at that point too, Newcastle will have sunk to a point where they got to pay attention and not get into trouble.
It's possible.
And then against West Ham, we already said they're going to lose at West Ham.
Yes.
All right. And then, it's 3 straight losses for the end. They lose to Man City. They lose to Arsenal, even though both of those games are at home.
See, now I've got a loss to City. I think they'll draw Arsenal simply because we like to fuck shit up when we need to win. And by then, we'll also have a decision as to what they're going to do for next season's Champions League. You know what I mean? If the season is null and void, right? If they decide to void the season, Arsenal's in the Champions League. Right. If they decide not to void the season, I don't know that we'll pick up the requisite points we would need anyway to get into the Champions League.
Got it.
Regardless.
All right. So I got 8 points to Watford, putting them at 35 points.
3, 6, 9, 10. Fuck. I actually have them at 11 points, putting them at 38.
Putting them ahead of Brighton and West Ham for you then.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
With Troy Deeney coming back, the way they started to play, I
still think of the leads they gave away. That's what I can't help but like.
I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
I mean, this is being.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is complete speculation. What's
and this
is
is
funny,
also after a month's worth of rest.
What's also funny is we're looking at this right, and like for me, I've already kind of stated I thought the 3 teams that were going to go down were going to be Norwich, Bournemouth, and Watford. Right? I thought those were going to be the 3 going down. When we write this out, I could end up. I keep saying, Villa and West Ham are going to be safe. After we write these out, for all I know, they'll be in the bottom 2. For all I know.
Well, and the other hard part is one result's going to change all this too. You have 3 teams on 27 points.
Oh yeah.
The next one, which we're coming to now, Bournemouth.
Yep.
But those 3 teams, you have one bad result in there, and somebody gets a win on a certain week you didn't expect. Like, say, for instance,
and then it's swapped.
West Ham's at Spurs. We both picked the draw.
Right.
What if West Ham sneaks it?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, what if Harry Kane's not back?
Right. Precisely.
You know what I mean? What if the transfer window's already open? They already sold him.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah.
Also, how are they going to handle that? It's still this season.
Yeah.
If the transfer window's open but the season's going on, they sell the player. Well, is he going to be eligible for another month since it's this season?
Right, and then will that player even want to play because he doesn't want to risk injury for a team he's fucking leaving?
Exactly. Or will he be allowed to play for the new club since it's still this season? Like, how's that going to work?
I mean, we'll get to more on him later, but let's say it's the world of like Jack Grealish getting sold. I could see a player like Jack Grealish busting his ass for Villa.
And still going out, yeah.
Right, till the bitter end, injury be damned. But somebody like Harry Kane's just gotten signed to, fucking, let's say, City to be the new
Aguero,
the new Aguero. He's gonna look at Mourinho and just go, "Yeah, fuck off, mate." Like, I've got my millions waiting for me. I've been the company boy. I've gotten paid shit to stay here. I'm now going to go be the superstar that I've been for the past 5 years and not been paid to fucking do it.
Daniel Levy's already come out and said we're not going to sell.
Right.
Which we already know that everyone has a fucking price.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But, yeah, it's still a concern. And the other thing, so say I get transferred. This is anybody. Norwich, Timo Pukki. You got to imagine Brighton may pick him up. You know what I mean? Somebody along those lines that need a fucking goal scorer might pick him up.
Yeah,
right?
Precisely.
West Ham might try to buy him. The idea is what I'm thinking is come June 1st when that transfer window opens, right? If they say, like, if I decide I'm going to join another club, right? Because all of these fixtures were supposed to have taken place after the January transfer window closed, and because it is still this past season, right? Am I still eligible as Timu Pukki to play for Norwich for these set of games, even though I'm going?
Right.
Then you have what you're worried about. I'm not fucking playing because I'm not getting hurt. I want to play for the new team.
Yeah.
Right? Then you have, all right, they're transferred out. Can they turn out for their new side, even though these fixtures were supposed to be played without you in that new side?
Right. And then you have players who are, well, I owe something to the club, and even though I'm moving on, let me go ahead and go out there and give it my all, and God forbid you get hurt.
Right.
Does then the club, like, let's say,
Does the transfer
Arsenal
fall apart?
buys Grealish, right? And then he suddenly gets hurt, and then Arsenal goes, no, fuck off.
Yeah, I'm not giving you that
I don't
45
fucking
million.
want him.
No way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, I'll give you 35 now. Like, suddenly he's cheap.
Right.
Like, yeah, you have to figure all of that out. I mean, it's going to be a fucking nightmare.
It's going to be a shit show.
All right, so back to the world of fantasy.
Nothing better for us.
Bournemouth. Bournemouth first face Palace at home. I'm giving a big, fat loss to Bournemouth in that one. Even though it's at home. They have not been good at home this year. And one thing Palace has done very well is they've learned how to figure out to get results.
I'm going to give them a draw only because they're at home.
Okay. At Wolves, I'm going to go with a loss for Bournemouth here, even though this screams Wolves fuck it up.
Yeah.
But the Wolves are so dangerously close to making Champions League. They're right there in that 5th place fight.
Right.
And it seems like they figured out how to not, lose the double to Huddersfield this season. They seem to have figured that out. We were talking about it with Paul on Patio Time on Saturday night. Like, it seems like somehow it helps that the league has been shit, but somehow Wolves are in the quarterfinals of Europa. They're cruising along, and they're looking at fucking Champions League in the league.
Yep. And now they're going to be well rested.
Which, with a small squad, helps
huge.
them
It's
big
massive.
time.
Yeah. 100%.
So Bournemouth has Newcastle at home.
I have a draw here.
Yeah, I'm going to have to say a draw as well.
Yep.
At Man United,
Loss.
big old loss.
Yep.
Spurs at home.
Loss.
I'm going to give them a W.
Wow. All right.
Because Bournemouth at the Vitality loves to give you a couple of head scratchers. This will be said head scratcher.
Okay.
This was, remember last year they had the kid playing keeper for them, and Tottenham was pounding them and pounding them and pounding them. And they got one counterattack goal, went up 1-0, and then no, it was still 0-0. Then everybody's favorite cleanest player ever, Son gets the red card for retaliation, but clearly that was a confusion. He was simply trying to express his frustration, and the ref and the player that he kicked didn't understand that, so, but, and then Bournemouth ended up, I think it was an Aki goal, like on a set piece, like right at the end of the game, scored on like a header.
Could be. Wouldn't surprise me.
That's why I'm going W there.
All right.
But then they turn around and face Leicester at home and lose.
I got a loss there as well.
And then they face Man City at Man City.
At City. Loss.
And lose.
Loss.
And then they have Southampton at home. This one, I want to give them a win.
I think that's their lone win.
Yeah, I'm going to give them a win there because Southampton won't give a fuck by that point of time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that being said, though, their last game of the season is at Everton, and this is not a homer pick on my part. Because it's at home, it's the final game of the season, Carlo's not going to let his boys sleepwalk through that
I think
game.
it's a loss for Bournemouth as well.
Yeah, I just kind of feel like, if you were playing someone, like, it just... If you weren't playing a team that's got a new manager that's trying to fucking impress him, it's the final home game of the season. Like for some reason, I just feel like that's an Everton win. All right, so let's tally up the points.
So I only have them picking up 5 points, finishing on 32.
I have them picking up 7 points and finishing on 34. All right, on to Villa. Now, Villa is going to have an extra game.
Yep.
And that first extra game is Sheffield United at home. I am going draw.
I'm going win,
Because
to be honest.
they are going to fucking want it.
I think they're going to want it. Absolutely. And I think Sheffield United, it's hard to say because they still keep coming up with shit. Well, did back when we had football. All right, sorry, I just had to get sad for a second. I think
It'll be okay, Sammy. Get sad next week when you're not in the same room as me.
I know. Tell me about it. I think Villa's going to have enough here. I mean, they've got the fight, they've got the determination. It's just a matter of staying organized at the back. So I think they get a win in that one.
Chelsea at home.
A loss.
I go with not just a loss, a heartbreaking 2-1 right at the end of the fucking match
Right
kind
at
of
the
loss.
death.
Like one of those just kick you in the nuts kind of loss.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, Chelsea does happen to be a good team. But then they turn around and go to Newcastle, of which I say they get a draw. A gutsy, fuck you, we're not out of this yet, we're fighting, we're swinging kind of a draw.
I have a draw as well in that game.
Then they get Wolves at home.
Loss for me.
I tend to agree. Again, another one of those heartbreaking 2-1s.
Yep.
Now, but you will like what I have. You'll find something interesting because we're coming up on one in a second. They go to Liverpool. They lose. They're
Lose at Liverpool.
going to
Yep.
lose at Liverpool.
Agree.
Despite the Bruno Fernandes bump, it's still managed by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They beat Manchester United at home.
I have a draw for that game, but I'm with you along the same lines. That Norwegian gym teacher, with this much time off, I think all this tactical nous we're seeing is going to fall right by the wayside for this match in particular.
Because Villa will play a good old-fashioned, ugly fucking slobber knocker of a match. That will,
Slobber knocker.
yeah,
That's a new
That's a
one.
Jim Ross word.
Using
from,
an old Jim Ross?
WWE days.
yeah.
Slobber knocker.
It's a slobber. Oh my God! It's a slobber knocker.
Stone Cold.
All right.
Palace at home. W. I give them
I
a
have
win.
I have a win there as well.
Because that is a game they know they have to win. Palace will already be safe and not giving two shits at all. Now, at Everton, remember how much I talked about Bournemouth, the last game of the season at Everton, how it's going to be that important of a game? The beauty for Villa is they're getting them before it's the last season game. I'm giving before it's the last game of the season. Sorry.
There we go.
Hashtag day drinking.
I had one beer before we started the show.
It is a bit early.
Hashtag stroke.
Yes. Or maybe your husband's just hyper aware of the fucking cough and the congested nose and hearing it through the mic and it's driving him fucking insane.
Hashtag he got the Canora virus.
Canora, that was it. Yeah. Mel was talking to me beforehand and fucked up the words, and it was funny. Canora.
Canora.
It mutated again. He's got Canora 20.
Hashtag supportive wife. Hashtag good producer. Yay. Thanks, honey.
Well, when you got that new gig last year, I think she decided that that old life insurance is more important.
It pains me. It pains me to say it. And it's going to suck taking the second shot. I am going with an Aston Villa win at Everton.
I've got a draw in that game. I've got a draw in that game.
Villa at home to Arsenal.
Loss, baby.
I also have a loss in that one. And then we said draw for West Ham, and I think you said a win,
I
right?
said a win, yeah. 3, 6, 9, 10.
Did you want to hear my
11,
picks?
Hold on 1 second.
12, 3, 6, 9, 12 points I've got there. Woo-hoo-hoo. It's getting tight.
I've got 12 points as well. Mel, what do you have Villa
All
going?
right, so I put a lot of thought and time into this, and I think I'm being as fair as possible.
Okay.
Win, 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 win.
All right. This is getting interesting because
Hashtag day drinking.
Sam, goal differential is definitely going to come into play on my chart.
So I thought mine was as well, but as I have it here, Villa beats out West Ham by 2 points.
Okay. Well, I've got 3 teams on 37, but I've got them all being safe.
I've got Brighton, Villa, and Watford being safe.
Yeah. All right. So let's do Norwich.
No, what? Does it matter? 21 points. Worst goal differential in the league. Can't win a fucking game to save their lives.
We're still going to... Sam, we still have a show to do. Let's go ahead.
Sorry.
There might be a Notch fan listening right now.
Then why hasn't he fucking reached out to us, which we've asked for and pled for multiple times?
Southampton at home, loss. Everton at home, loss, because Everton's going to remember losing to them in Everton. Norwich, Man U at home, loss. Arsenal at Arsenal, loss. What did we say for Brighton?
Draw. I said draw.
I said draw also because we said if it was going to be at Brighton, Brighton could get a win. Watford, what do we say for them against Watford? I think we said Watford win.
I don't know what I did here. Yeah,
I said Watford win.
I said Watford win as well.
West Ham, we said win for West Ham, I believe.
West Ham, Norwich win,
Yep,
yes.
win.
At Chelsea, that was a loss for Norwich, guaranteed.
Yep, at Chelsea, even though Chelsea does like to be beaten at home, like the kids. Remember that.
Burnley, do they sneak a draw?
At that point, it's already over. I say no. I say a loss.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And then they lose to City. So I've got them getting 1 point.
I have them getting 1 point and finishing on 22, which is why I wrote 21, arrow, doesn't matter, question mark, before we even started this section.
All right, so write in your teams real quick, and we'll see what we get. Don't just scream them out. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Let's go ahead and start with 20th place. I have a feeling we both have the same people at the same points. Norwich at 22.
22 puntos.
All right, so in 19th, I have Bournemouth at 34 points. What do you have?
I have Bournemouth at 32 points.
All right. In 18th place, I have Watford at 35 points.
I have West Ham at 35 points.
All right, very good. So 15th, 16th, and 17th for me all have 37 points. So I kind of fakely figured in a goal differential. But at 17th, I have Aston Villa at 37 points.
In 17th, I have Brighton on a better goal. Oh, 17th.
Yeah, 17th.
17th. I'm sorry. We're going up. I have Villa on 37 points with a worse goal differential.
Got it. 16th, I have West Ham with 37 points and a slightly better goal differential. This is where you'll have Watford, right?
No, this is where I have Brighton, actually. So I have Brighton with a better goal differential, but only on 37 points than Villa. Both of them 37 points.
Right.
But Villa with the worst goal differential. So 17th Villa, 16th Brighton for me.
Okay. And then 15th, then you have Watford?
Watford I have in 15th on 38 points.
Okay, I have Brighton in 15th at 37. Like I said, 3 teams at 37, but Brighton having the better goal differential because they're all right now only, -8, you said?
Brighton are -8, yeah.
Yeah, so there's big difference on each of those. So, all right. So, for me, I've been saying I thought West Ham and Villa would figure out a way to get themselves out. So, by looking at the games, I think so.
I hope you guys are right, but 538's, what is it, the Soccer Power Index ratings?
This is something we've been doing on injury time each week when we do our predictions. We've been going against this
the
numeric
nerd algorithm.
Yeah, the nerd algorithm.
They have Notch going down at 94%. Villa going down, 71% chance of that happening, and Bournemouth going down, 51% chance of that happening. West Ham going down only is given a 31% chance, and Watford only has a 25% chance.
I don't know,
according to the nerd numbers.
I don't know why they feel so safe in Watford. Okay, yes, I give it to you, Sam. Troy Deeney makes a difference. But Nigel Pearson has been managing this team for a while, has had his fingerprints on this team for a while. And what this team has done has, 3 out of 4 weeks in a row, lost leads in the second half to not just lose and not just have draws, but losses. Lost all 3 points.
Absolutely.
And then the fourth of those 3 matches, they managed a draw. like, something has to be said for just the inability to figure out how the fuck to get a fucking
close
point
a game out,
when you have the lead. I mean,
Absolutely.
And I guess that's why I have them going down and why I picked the way I picked, because the smell test, it doesn't smell good. It smells wrong.
I agree. I mean, I agree with you. That, like I said, right now, Bournemouth, Watford, and West Ham are all on 27 points.
Yeah.
And then you have Brighton on 29, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, honestly, you get one bad result when another team has a head scratcher,
Yeah.
and now you're drug into it.
Yeah.
You know, you're the only thing Brighton, for me, and obviously you echo that, the only thing Brighton has for me is their goal differential is so superior. It's almost like having an extra point.
Right.
You know?
And it's amazing because they'll end up getting out of the season, and I think I've got them winning 2 games and you have them winning 1.
Right.
For the entire fucking year of 2020, they're going to get out with 1 or 2 wins and somehow manage to not just stay up, but stay up kind of safely.
Relatively comfortably, yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Fucking insane. All right, so that was a fun little exercise of utter and complete bullshit.
Right. So once the league gets canceled, we'll burn these, but until it does, we're going to hold on to them so we can read these results off at some point during the summer.
Sammy, want to make it interesting?
I have my own thing to make it interesting.
Okay, well, I was going to say with this.
Remember, we still got the Belarusian Premier League, mate.
Okay, no. I was going to say with this right here, whichever one of us does better on all the games, because we picked wins, losses, draws, everything. We'll take all of these games, total them up. Whoever does better, the other one does 2 shots of Malort.
Okay.
Okay, 2 shots of Malort.
$1,000 towards the betting.
Very good. So 2 shots of Malort on the line for that one.
Mel, see what's happening here. See what's happening here.
I see it. It's
He's so far
shenanigans.
ahead in the regular betting.
He's not going to wager a high.
He's not going to wager what he's up.
It doesn't it doesn't give him any benefit whatsoever.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Now, if these games are to go ahead in the summer, with fans, without fans, behind closed doors, in a World Cup camp, however they do it.
Hell, who knows how many fucking games? They may just go, we're going to play 5. These 5. You know? And that all depends on what fixtures are where and how that works out.
When and if it happens, odds will be out. We'll hopefully be able to bet, and we will bet them.
Okay.
Correct?
Oh, these games, yeah. I mean,
Okay,
if one of those is our bet of the week, yeah, we can't go different from what this says.
Gotcha. Perfect.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
We can't go different from what this says.
Yeah, your bets are locked in.
This is separate.
Well, no. I'm talking like if I'm going to do a bet of the week and I go, when the action's back on, and for one of my bet of the weeks, let's just say, fuck, I'm trying
Just
to
pick one on the first page.
I don't think
I
you're
gotta get to it.
beholden
Let's
to
say
what you
I
have.
say Brighton at Arsenal, and I go, oh, Brighton's going to win. Well, I already said Brighton's going to lose here, so no.
That's different, though. You may have more information when you make your pick
All right,
than what
fair
you
enough.
have today.
And money's
Doesn't
on the
matter.
line.
Yeah.
Like we said, this is complete and utter bullshit.
Speaking of bullshit.
But we are wagering 2 shots of Malort on this as of right now, as it stands.
Well, all right, so good. So in the world of fantasy land, who knows fuck all, I hope you enjoyed this fantasy football segment. All right, I can't believe I'm about to do this. Fuck, I didn't give you permission to unmute yet.
Sorry, muting.
All right, Mel, go ahead and unmute. I can't believe I'm about to do this, but somebody's got some interesting storylines for us.
Dude, I have a drinking story for you.
All right.
Now,
See what she did there?
yeah, see what I did there?
I did.
Now, Saturday night,
Mm-hmm.
actually Saturday morning, about 11 a.m., one Mr. Captain Jack Grealish
Uh-oh. I think I saw something about
sent
this.
out a lovely little video urging everybody to stay at home and stay safe and adhere to the lockdown and, generally stay put. Well, he didn't take his own advice. Apparently, Captain Jack went to a party at Ross McCormick's house
Nice.
with Tony Capillotti. Is that how I pronounce that?
Capellan, I think it is.
Whatever. With Tony.
I think it's more like Tony.
I think he's Irish, though, so...
Oh.
Northern Irish.
Yeah. Tony Capellani's
Couple,
house.
honestly,
That could be fucking anything, to be honest with you.
a couple of seasoned veterans who aren't currently under the employ of any club. They're both in their
Yeah.
One's 33, one's like 36. So
And
they're
Jack Grealish is 24.
these are these. You know what these are? These are his mentors. These,
Yes.
you know exactly what this is, Sam.
I think both of them
This
did play
is-
for Villa at one point.
This is when I call you during this little lockdown thing, and I convince you to come out, and you get in trouble.
Yes, that's
Right.
exactly,
Exactly
what
what
this
this is.
A neighbor said that the party started about 4 a.m. and was going all night. Unbearable.
Wait, started at 4 a.m.?
That's what they said. 4 a.m. party. I guess he was on New York time. I don't know. It was a 4 a.m. party.
That's weird.
Everyone's been describing it as a 4 a.m. party. Going all night. The noise only stopped just after 8 a.m. when they heard the sound of a car crashing into other vehicles.
Nice.
Apparently, Jack Grealish pulled his Rover out from a parking spot across the street, backed into a parked van, then drove it forward and rammed the iron railing of a real estate company fence. He then drove down the street for about 200 yards, where he apparently sideswiped not one, but 2 Mercedes. At this point, he pulls over and is yelling at the motorists and the neighbors that are coming out that, I'll pay for the damage. It's all right.
That sounds like a footballer right there.
Bless his little cotton socks.
And
Do you know who I am? I've got millions. I'll take care of
Well-
all of it.
the photograph that front page of a lot of the English papers is calling him the COVIDiot pictures him standing wearing 1 slipper and 1 slide. Tom Capaldi, Tony is holding the other slipper and the other slide. The person that took the picture described them pissed as farts.
Pissed as farts.
Pissed as farts.
But wasn't he also dressed up? Wasn't he like wearing
Well, I'm
a hoodie?
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
See, this is not the first time Mr. Jack Grealish has gotten in trouble with substances. Apparently, in 2015, he was caught on video inhaling nitrous oxide.
Yep, in a nightclub. I remember that.
Yep, he was 19 at the time.
Doing whippets.
Later that year, he was photographed passed out in a street on a Spanish island with a bottle of whiskey next to him.
Sounds like a guy that would get along great with us,
Oh yeah.
to be honest.
Now, here is a little interesting thing that I did some research on. See, I looked at that picture of Jack, drunk, confused, with 1 slipper and 1 slide, and I noticed his sweatshirt.
Okay.
See, this is the kind of reporting you guys get from Producer Mel that they're missing out on Fox Sports and ESPN, because he was wearing a $1,200 Givenchy sweatshirt.
Givenchy?
Givenchy.
Never heard of that.
Givenchy Paris? Not surprised. So...
Look at somebody's balls have dropped apparently.
Well, I know
Christ.
fashion. So I did a little
I
digging.
know fashion.
Here's an interesting,
Got some pictures from a cruise you were on that say you don't.
that's cruising. I was a little drunk, okay?
So was Jack.
I make bad choices when
So
I'm
was
drunk.
Jack.
Well, he made good choices here. So when he did his Instagram video telling everybody to stay home, he was wearing a $270 Palm Angels t-shirt.
Okay.
When he got drunk and crashed all the cars, he was wearing a $1,200 Givenchy sweatshirt. Well, today he did an apology on Instagram, and I guess he tried to humble himself because he was only wearing an $80 Karl Lagerfeld hat.
And that was it. So he did it topless.
No, he had a T-shirt. I couldn't
Oh.
see the brand of the T-shirt, so the T-shirt might have been worth a lot more. But I could just
Let's
see
get the ladies on my side while I
could
do
just see
this
the
apology.
Lagerfeld hat.
Just do it topless all
If
the
he
time.
wanted to get the ladies on his side, he'd have that. He wouldn't have a hat on. He'd have that hair fucking going.
That Peaky
right?
Blinders fucking hair out. Yeah.
But less than it was exactly 21 hours from when he told everyone to stay home. He was photographed on the streets, pissed as fart, drunk.
I was kind of hoping he would have done that video in the hoodie, and he did it in the hoodie at his friend's house.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, mates, I got to do something for all the fans. Let me do this real quick. And then got pissed.
It was still drunk. Yeah.
Oh, my God. That'd have been funny.
So that is the tale of Captain Jack Grealish.
Oh my God.
I think it's funny that he had on a slide and a slipper.
Yeah, what's the deal with that?
Well, he obviously stole one shoe of someone else's.
Well, no,
he would have come with
But his buddy had
his
the other
boy
one.
was holding the
no,
other
but
two.
that's what I'm saying. So why would he bring two pairs of
he stole
comfortable
someone's.
shoes?
Right.
So he stole either a slipper or a slide from Ross McCormick's house,
Right.
and then put on his own
I'm assuming
other
from,
one.
I'm assuming he stole
and
it
then
from
left.
Tony because Tony had the other two.
Unless
the
Tony
opposite.
was chasing after him.
So like now
because Tony was at the party. He wasn't in the car with him.
Right.
So they're all listening and hearing this. So he could have been coming out and like, mate, you've got,
so
You've got my slipper. Yeah, here's your other slide, asshole.
I'm gonna say because he's a footballer, he showed up in slippers. That he
Yeah,
showed up in
and
his house shoes.
So he stole slides.
He stole
A
Tony's
slide.
stole Tony's slide, and Tony was coming out being like, "Come on, brother! Like,
What are you doing?
take your house shoe, give me my fucking slide."
Yeah.
I'm at the end of my career. I might want my slide and might need my slide. I could give fuck all about your expensive ass house
By the way,
shoe.
he was definitely wearing socks with both.
Ah, brilliant.
And you know you're from PG County when you call them house shoes.
Yeah, they house shoes.
They ain't slippers. They house shoes.
And now it's time to tell you what little we know. It is prediction time. Sammy, how'd your Belarusian game
I
go?
lost.
You lost?
Brest beat Slutsk. 1-0. Yeah.
Man, that sucks. We had a
Unfortunate.
very hard time explaining to the gentleman we'll get to in a moment about Belarus, the Belarusian league being Belarus. He hopped up on a little bit of boxed wine and kept going, "Where's Belarusia?" We're like, "It's not Belarusia, it's Belarus."
It's Belarus, man.
He's like, no, but for real, where's Belarusia? Let me pour myself another glass of this fine-ass boxed
Sitting
wine.
there drinking a thing of like Black Box Merlot or something.
Fucking brilliant.
Jesus Christ.
Good news is he lost his bet to me because he went with very good, and he realized that perhaps he should have just gone with very, because as I pointed out, the Cheeto likes to change his stance on a word. He'll start saying very good. He'll notice midway through his speech that he's saying very good and change it to another word, which was very important. So
Now-
between very good and very important, the 65 probably would have went over. But Pat said very good. And if he would have just stuck with the word very, the 65 and the over would have been safe. So Pat, you owe me a crisp, clean, brand new $5 bill, my good friend.
Maybe take it out of a stimulus check.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, you know what else I've noticed? And actually, this is an improvement from old Trumpo. Noticing something mid-press conference and then changing it up so he doesn't repeat himself. Well done.
Yeah.
I'm impressed by that, actually. Now, before the press conference starts, if you could just look at, like, facts and stuff, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And then only say those things. That'd be wonderful.
All right. Well,
Very
good,
wonderful.
good
Very
news is-
important. Very good.
yeah. I see what you did there.
Hugely good. If you could just look at facts, that'd be great.
More importantly, or very importantly, someone has decided to go ahead because he is a degenerate and email us again.
Ooh, is he doubling down?
Let's see.
And now, it's time for our degenerate gambling friend Pat's Pick of the Week.
Titled, "We've Got Action."
I assume he found the Belarusian Premier League on the map.
Wait for it. The most popular sport in the world right now is the Vashahia League. Don't ask me how to pronounce it, Pat. That would be the Belarusian League.
Yeah. It would.
Or where it even plays. ... Russia, a question mark. Pat, for the 19,000th time, it's in Belarus.
I also learned another fun fact today. Alexander Kleb,
Yeah.
the Belarusian player, which means he's from Belarus, his wife is the lead singer, I believe, of a pop band called Topless.
Topless.
That comes out of Belarus.
Fabulous.
Yeah, just fun fact.
We
I
are
mean-
full of fun facts.
Yep.
All right. So this Friday, we have Torpedo Zodina versus Domino Minsk, which is who.
Oh, motherfucker, I had Minsk.
Yeah, that Minsk who
I
screwed
gotta
up
look
your
at
bet.
Something else. I know. No, I didn't bet on Minsk.
You bet. Yeah, you bet for them. Oh no, you didn't bet.
No,
the
I
game. You
bet for
the other-
Brest.
Oh, very good.
Dynamo Brest
Yep.
against Slutsk. Remember? Let me see what Slutsk
That's right.
doing.
Brest against Slutsk.
I might change my bet.
So no idea about anything. So I'll just take the over 2 goals at -125. I'll risk 94 to win 75. That's right. Who cares? It looks like I can follow it on my phone, and I think I will be at home for it for 1 p.m. our time. But I gotta bet.
It won't be 1 p.m. our time, will it? They're playing
No.
at 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah, it'll be like
The game that I bet last weekend, kicked off at fucking 6 a.m. our time.
Look, he doesn't even know where the fuck the country is. So how the fuck do we expect him to know the time code, right?
Hashtag Trump.
Double down on boxed wine. That's a solid investment. You know what? Whatever boxed wine company Pat's drinking, I'm going to go ahead and put money into that stock.
Yeah.
And he said, talk to us on Saturday when we do porch time again,
There we go.
which will be fabulous.
All right, so I found Slutsk. They are away to FC Islach, or Islach,
Okay.
however you say it in Russian, or Belarusian, or Bella's in Belayan. Wherever the fuck this place is. Just kidding. I know where it
Admin on the
is.
fly. Admin on the fly.
It's kind of northeast of Poland. Is
very
where
good.
it is. Thank you very much. It's
All right.
fallen in and out of Russian control since the time of Alexander the Great.
All right. Well, are you going to hurry up and tell us your fucking bet?
I just want you to know that I have a big brain. Real brain, not your brain. Nah. I have FC Slutsk winning this one at plus 330. Okay? Over FC Islach.
All right. That's all?
That's it.
That's
That's
it?
all I'm doing. Simple. Because I literally know fuck all about any of this.
All right. So
And this one kicks off at 11 a.m. on April 5th. So I don't what he's talking about. Minsk game is at noon on Saturday.
okay.
Friday. Noon on Friday.
Okay. Very good. So that was a pretty mediocre segment, wasn't it?
Very mediocre segment. We have resorted to talking about the Belarusian Premier League.
But we give you more. We give you Kitty the chicken.
Quick note, follow our fucking social medias. Kitty makes a brief appearance today.
Yes, well, because you're recording early and she wasn't already in bed.
So I would just like to say there is no bet from Kitty this
No,
week.
no bet from Kitty.
But it's very important to note, and I would really like it if everybody would, on our DU football show, DUFC page, Drunken United page. Yeah, that page.
The main show page.
On Wednesday, please wish my beloved chicken, Kitty, a happy birthday.
You know, it's also Gertrude and Henrietta's birthday.
Don't care. It's only Kitty's birthday.
Now, I spoke to Kitty when you brought her in for a moment.
I know. She was hanging out.
And I tried to get out of her a bet for the Belarusian Premier League.
Yeah, I'm surprised she didn't
And,
have one.
well, her level of as traveled and as cultured as she
Yeah.
is, she also did not know where Belarus was and responded with, "I don't fuck with Putin."
Oh,
And I was
that
like,
would make
"Well,
sense.
that's not the same thing.
Yeah.
He's not from there. That's not
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
That you're not doing it right." And she
That
was like,
sounds-
"I don't fucking care. Fuck Putin."
That sounds like Kitty. That does sound
Yeah.
like Kitty.
You need to wear a shirt when you ride a horse. And I was like, "No, it's not the same thing."
So, needless to say, happy first birthday
Yep.
to Kitty and the other two chickens.
Kitty, over the weekend, she was power watching the Tiger documentary.
Good.
She agrees.
As she should.
Carol killed her husband.
Carol definitely killed her fucking husband. We haven't played and we ain't going to be playing for a while.
No shit.
So, instead, this is now our new email section. Instead of just putting it in kind of where it fits,
All right, go ahead.
I'm just going to
This that's fine by me. New email section.
make it here. I just got to find it first because I decided that right as I told you.
Well prepared, Mr. Graham. Well prepared.
Well, see, this is I just make impulsive decisions. So, question for your podcast. This is from Jeet, member of the Charm City Gooners.
Yep.
Good lad that as well. Question for your podcast. What are your thoughts on Liverpool not winning the league? If the league is canceled, as it has a domino effect for relegation and promotion, are you in favor of that? So two little questions there. First, Liverpool not winning the league would be glorious.
Oh my god, it would be so fucking funny.
Contrary to popular
it'd be
belief.
so funny.
Contrary to popular belief, I only talk Liverpool up to get under your skin.
Oh, I know that.
Because you're an Everton supporter. So I have to. I don't care for Liverpool either. As you don't particularly care for Spurs.
Oh, I don't.
But you
like,
take up the
I don't like
Spurs mantle just to piss me the fuck
Right,
off.
I don't like Spurs because of the whole fucking Son thing.
Absolutely.
Who is a national treasure, and tots
two
and
countries.
tots and prayers goes out to him during this COVID.
Thoughts and prayers.
during this
Thoughts and prayers.
COVID during this COVID crisis.
Yep.
Do we? I mean, it is starting to get some legs. The idea that there may not be, that they may just suspend the league.
Yeah, it's possible.
I still think that there's too much money involved. They're going to have to fucking Blake, because if you decide to suspend the season, then TV contracts come back and go, okay, give us back money.
Right.
And then people who are employed by the club go, well, I don't fucking care. I'm signed to a contract where I work this many games. You didn't give me this many games. It does not mean that you still should not pay me this much
Correct,
money.
because they're contract.
They are going to exhaust every single effort in every single scenario to make sure that this season, in some way, shape, or form, gets completed.
Well, and that's why, like Miguel Delaney, the guy that we talked about earlier from the Independent, the chief football writer for the Independent, he's a respected journalist. I mean, he normally doesn't talk shit. Apparently, they need to have 14 clubs on board with this to make it like this is what the Premier League's doing. If they're going to do it, the Championship has to do it. If they're going to do it, League One has to do it. If they're going to do it. Or, I don't know how you could say, hey, you
Bottom
guys...
5 will sign up easily.
Well, I don't know how you're going to say, you guys are the league winners, but we're still going to have... But we're not going to have relegation. If you're going to finish the season needs to finish.
right.
If the season doesn't finish, then you can't award... They haven't mathematically won it, so you can't give them the title.
And then if there's these two separate quote-unquote World Cup camps, one in the Midlands, one in the London area.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not hard for a, for a fucking Premier League team to do because they have millions.
Right, but a League Two team, you're fucked.
By the way, mathematically,
it will literally destroy them financially to have to pay that kind of money to have
Absolutely.
their players play in those areas.
100%.
Liverpool is set 99% chance to win the league. The only team mathematically that could beat them is Man City, and they have less than 1% chance. But there's still a
But
chance.
you're saying I got a chance?
I was going to say I would have thought old Corona had a bigger percent chance than City to win.
Right?
Oh, all right. Well, with
No,
that
it's
being said-
Kenora.
Yeah, heard.
It's Kenora.
Yeah, so I would love that to happen. It would be so fucking funny. I mean, it would just be brilliant. It would be absolutely brilliant.
Can you pass me the whiskey, please?
But it's not going to happen. They're going to figure out a way to get this league done. So, Sammy, any parting words?
I do. Two things on opposite ends of the spectrum for me. The first in which is going to be on a happy note, and then, like usual, I'll leave you on a sad one. Number one, sign up for our Patreon, www.patreon.com/DUfootballshow, as you'll get all of our extra content, which is the sound check, and then you'll have injury time, which we're about to record, which will, since we have nothing to really predict, it's normally a preview of the upcoming weekend, is now going to be a review of Tiger King.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty much the two of us fucking off for an hour because
Yeah.
we
Three
just
of
go
us.
for an hour.
3 of us.
Oh yeah, she doesn't have a mute button
Three of
either.
us.
Yeah, she's talking too. So sometimes, as like 2 weeks ago, we got 2 hours deep
All right.
into that show.
So I want to go ahead and remind you of how this works, okay? Talent production. So even if you don't have a mute button, remember who's the king here, baby. Remember who's the
I'm
king.
supposed to be leaving here right now. So.
Okay, so let's get this done. Oh,
And then lastly, I did want to mention a very good friend of mine passed away this past week.
listener and supporter of our program.
Listen to the show, supported the show, liked all the social medias, interacted on the social medias, unlike a lot of you cunts.
Was a member of the DU Football Club.
Yep. And he passed away on Wednesday. Kind complications due to pneumonia. Actually, his coronavirus test came back negative. So I want to raise one real quick to my boy Paul. Rest in peace, my friend. We will do everything we can to take care of your family. We love you. We miss you. And you'll, forever be in our hearts.
Thank you, Paul, for all your support, brother. And thank you for being a mentor to my good friend, Sam.
All right.
All right, boys and girls. Next up is injury time.
It's Tiger King recap show.
We told you all the fuck off we're going to do. But more importantly, Mel is going to leave you with a little public service announcement from us to you. Enjoy.
Wash your fucking hands.
Thank you to Chris Franklin for these lyrics. The world has caught a virus, so I've written you a poem. We need your help to cure it, so stay the fuck at home. And if you have got 12 kids or you're living on your own, lock it down and isolate and stay the fuck at home. If you think you're not at risk here, you're living in a dome. It spreads faster than a hooker's leg, so stay the fuck at home. I need the gym, I need the beach, I hear you bitch and moan. You need to grow a brain cell and stay the fuck at home. But I feel fine, I don't feel sick. I'll go out on my own. How thick are you, you selfish prick? Please just stay the fuck at home. From LA through to Berlin, from Wuhan through to Rome, there's people dying every day, so stay the fuck at home. If you need to contact family, use Facebook, Skype, or phone. We've got the fucking internet, so stay the fuck at home. The only way to slow it down is isolate, not roam. Please help the world get back on track and stay the fuck at home. Stay the fuck at home, stay the fuck at home. Don't you be a fucking dick, please stay the fuck at home. Stay the fuck at home.